and loads more here on ZabFm 106. So, Mr. Fazli Azeem, what are we actually talking about now? What do you think of the overall awareness of autism in our country right now, at present?
Yes, you see, a lot of these epidemiological studies, that basically means the prevalence rates, as in how many people are there who suffer from this disorder. The problem in a country like Pakistan is there's a lot of, maybe the budget isn't really there, and maybe there's just lack of awareness. Maybe there are other priorities right now more important for the government. So what happened is that not a lot of resources are being spent finding out the actual number of people, not a lot of detailed surveys are going on. A lot of research has happened in the cities, in Lahore, Karachi or Islamabad or even Quetta, where people went to special schools and found out how many children are there with autism just to get a general number. But the point is, you cannot generalize that, because you need to find out what's happening in the towns, maybe in the villages, in the rural areas, the entire nation. And what happens in a country like America, perhaps UK, or even in the European Union, they have a lot of budget. Their health systems are very much, they document everything.
Now, what I wanted to come to at this point was, since you've raised up the point of budget, how strongly does our government support NGOs who are into actually researching or actually helping people with these disorders which are specifically so heavy weighted, such as autism and of course dyslexia, ADHD, and of course dyscalculia?
What's happened now is most people who actually know about this disorder are very educated people, and they know about it only because they're exposed to foreign media, like movies, like magazines, websites. Like if you're really educated, the English language, you hear about these things, because it's really in right now in the Western countries. Now, in a country like Pakistan, the problem is that very few people who are perhaps of the other, let's say, the rural languages, or people who have low income, or from the villages perhaps, who are not very fluent with the language, English language. So for them, it is a problem. So what's happened is, in the last few years, there have been some efforts, but they've been of a very small level. There was the Ramak NGO in Lahore, which basically reached out to the northern area of Pakistan. There was the Christian Missionary Hospital of Quetta, which is doing work in that region of Pakistan. There's also the Maisha Foundation in Karachi, and the Pakistan Autism Meetup Group. There's the Hum Kadam Foundation, who basically help with inclusive education. There's READS, who work with dyslexic children. But the point is, if you talk specifically about autism, it's a very misunderstood disorder. My point is that you have to categorize into severely different categories. There's a very low and there's a very high kind of autism. The very low kind or lower functioning autism is basically when the children are non-verbal. Now that's obviously an alarming situation, when the child simply cannot talk.
Just to bring into this point, I've heard President Kennedy had autism disorder.
No, I don't think he himself had it, but his sister did.
Oh, okay.
And because of that, Jack, they actually created the this Special Olympics.
Oh, the special, and
it was created by them.
Maria Shriver Kennedy's mother.
Yes,
all right.
She
Eunice Kennedy.
Yes, she deliberately Eunice Kennedy created it because her sister had autism. She was a special person, and she grew up, and she used to sit in home all day and not have any outlet, perhaps in exercise or maybe meeting people. So she, along with a group of like-minded parents, they created the Special Olympics, and that's an amazing thing, because every year in the Special Olympics, a member of the Kennedy family is always there. I personally met Robert Kennedy in Qatar in 2008. He is the grandson of Eunice Kennedy. I think he's the son. I'm not sure. He's either the son or the grandson. Robert Kennedy. He's a very young fellow, maybe in the 35, 36 age.
Okay, then probably the son and probably the brother of Maria Shriver Kennedy.
He might be, yes. So he was there also. He was representing the Americans at Qatar at the UNESCO Disability Conference. And these people are very active. Again, you see, they had a personal commitment. They had somebody in the family who had some maybe disability or a special need. And that was an amazing thing, because they used their fame and perhaps their power to make something amazing happen. And the Special Olympics happens right after the regular Olympics, every Olympic every 4 years, and that's amazing. It really brings things to the forefront. In a country like Pakistan, you see, I would like to address not just the lower functioning non-verbal children, where obviously that is a severe case. You would actually go to a doctor, or if your child was not talking. I'd also really like to point out the higher functioning, where actually nothing is going on in the country. I'm referring to Asperger's syndrome. In Asperger's syndrome, there's a syndrome in some Americans called it the geek syndrome.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they refer to these cultural stereotypes perhaps, where the child is very much into computers or some technical field, not very social, lacks eye contact, doesn't really meet people, but is an expert in his field.
I think I would dip into this point and give you the mind-boggling information that's been running on my mind, that this recent movie that's come out, The Three Idiots, is basically on that syndrome that Mr. Fazli
Asperger's syndrome, yes. The main character, Amir Khan's character in that, has Asperger's syndrome.
Brainy, nerdy, and no eye contact.
Yes.
Well, the gentleman sitting right
and a social disorder, not able to relate correctly to authority figures and people, his peers and older generation also.
If I'm not right, you better correct me at this point. Have you suffered from this?
Yes, I myself have Asperger's syndrome, which is part of the autistic spectrum. This is what makes me slightly unique, in the sense that my IQ is abnormally high. Not in all areas, in certain areas, in the fields of my obsession, which are computer graphics, anthropology, genetics, history, culture, and certain areas. This is in a way I view Asperger's syndrome as a selective advantage, because you might not be social, you might not be good at everything. In fact, you might be really bad in some things, but the things which you are good at, you are really good at, and then you can become an educator. You can contribute to the field. Most and 50% of all Nobel Prize winners in history, in the field of chemistry, in the field of mathematics, in the field of physics, they have been officially diagnosed before winning with Asperger's syndrome.
Well, no, this is something that people out there in Pakistan, at least I had no idea what this syndrome was all about, but now I'm getting to know this, and to tell you what, have no second thoughts about this gentleman's talents, and he is one of the magnificents when it comes to his own very field, which is computer graphics and of course other related things. Now, talking of all the good causes that he's associated with, I have something to tell you people out there, all my listeners out there on the roads or wherever you are, shackling and crackling right now. There's something that Zabis has organized along with the ED Foundation, and we're coming together for a very good cause. 31st of January 2010, there's a breathtaking charity football match which is going to be organized by the Zabis Sports Society. I think another event of the entire football lovers would totally won't want to miss out on, and I think this is something that you guys could come and pick up a ticket, buy it or whatever at Zabis, and you know what, this entire thing is going to be going for a good cause. Now the teams that are playing at the moment are Zabis and Nixa College versus IBM and of course South Shore. So this is going to be a match that you really want to watch, and of course you want to be a part of. Now, to tell you what, on today's show we've got a giveaway tickets for this. You can answer a question which is coming up shortly during the show, so you better pay attention to this one. And of course, Rahat Stadium is the place where this match is going to be held. So the tickets that I'm giving away on my show today, if you want, you can always write in at 1313 and give the correct answer for the question which is coming up shortly. The question is going to be, of course, a little bit of humor and light wind, and I think if Mr. Fazli Qazi would allow me, I should give away the question, should I?
Yes, definitely.
And I'm sure he would give a try to it, but he won't get a ticket to the show. But anyways,
I'll buy one.
Well, for a good cause, one should always buy one. How long can chickens fly? Well, that's the question of the day. If you can come up with the correct answer, how long can chickens fly? I've got a statistical number for this one, and if you come up with the correct answer, you are winning a ticket for the match. I've got 4, I guess, for the giveaway. If Sports Society wants to give any more.
What kind of chicken?
Normal chicken. So we could normal white chicken.
Like desi
desi ones,
okay.
Of course. How long can chickens fly? Now, I've got the answer. You can. It's in seconds. That's the first tip that I'm giving you right away with the question. The chickens can actually fly, and the flight time is measured in seconds. So if you give me the exact figure, you are winning tickets to the football match, which is being organized by the Sports Society for a very good cause.
The chicken's alive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. That's the second.
It's not fried chicken.
That's the second tip that we've already given out on the show. Moving on to a song, and then we come back and of course talk more with Mr. Qazi Fazli Azeem, who is going to be with us all the way till 9